Good morning, Cam.
Hail and well met, Mitchell.
I have no idea what you just said.
I said hail and well met.
Ah, very good. I don't have anything for that. That sounds very nice. Anyway, pretty big deal last night.
Yeah, what was that?
On AEW Rampage last night, and I'm just going to warn the listeners. I will make sure that I chapter the show. So if you don't want to hear the wrestling talk, but there's going to be a bit of wrestling talk today. But CM Punk returned to AEW last night in Chicago.
Oh, did he?
It was pretty exciting. I saw grown men crying.
Seriously?
It's still real to me. I should grab a screen grab of it. But yeah, there was this dude. He had his mask down underneath his mouth and the tears were rolling down his cheeks.
Well, yikes.
I will tell you that CM Punk was kind of the guy that to me in WWE broke through something that prior to that, let's put it this way. Vince really likes his big guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so, a lot of times in the WWE, whether it was Raw or SmackDown, it was just a bunch of big guys. And there was not a lot of, there weren't very many little guys in wrestling. And I think CM Punk kind of started that trend of guys that were just really talented and really good at what they did and good talkers that opened it up for a lot of guys that are in WWE now, like your Finn Balor's and like a Ricochet or something like that they're smaller guys that are really talented, but
except Ricochet is no good on the mic, but that's fine.
Yeah, he doesn't have to talk. He does his talking in the ring. But guys like that, the smaller
Daniel
guys.
Bryan.
Daniel Bryan's a good example, actually, very good. Because I don't know that they pulled a lot of guys from the indies before that. And CM Punk was one of the first like big indie stars that came up. So, and so good on the mic. Like he could be such a jerk and you loved him for it. It's good. So really excited to have him back. He gave everybody ice cream bars last night, which was kind of interesting and fun. I'll tell you, I haven't watched the whole episode, SmackDown or Rampage from last night yet. I haven't had time. But so what we do talk about with SummerSlam today or anything, I didn't finish watching the episode. That came to bite me a couple weeks ago when we talked about Finn Balor coming to SmackDown. And I said that he didn't get a chance to talk at all. Well, he talked at the end of that episode, but I hadn't seen it yet. So if there's any fact checkers out there, that was a bit of a gaffe, but didn't figure it really bared mentioning, but I just thought of it. So I mentioned it.
Fair enough. CM Punk. I missed his whole career.
He has been gone from wrestling for 7 years. And I don't know the whole story. I know that there was something about his health that WWE wasn't recognizing that there was a health issue, and there was a lawsuit, and there was a bunch of stuff that happened with WWE. So I'm glad that he's got an opportunity to come back. I haven't been a huge fan of AEW. I've watched it a little bit recently, and now that he's made his comeback on AEW, I might end up watching that more.
Which is the whole reason they signed it.
Oh, 100%. I really think that they need to cut down their roster though, because they're bleeding people right now.
Well, it's funny because that's what WWE's been doing for the last 3 months is cutting, and then AEW can't help themselves and they just pick everybody up.
Yeah, but I think they're gonna have some. They could possibly have some financial issues as a business. I know they're backed by a millionaire, but it's I think they're going to be bleeding here pretty soon if they don't start making some good business decisions. On top of that, they did something similar to what Ring of Honor did, but only like crazier. They're allowing all these other promotions belts to be on the broadcast. So like the Elite came out a couple weeks ago, and it seemed like everybody had a belt. and only like 2 or 3 of them were from the actual AEW promotion.
Yeah, no, they're leaning heavy into we love indie wrestling. So they've got Impact titles, NWA titles, and so Christian won the Impact and TNA titles off of Kenny Omega, and he went to Impact and retired the TNA title, and now it's just the Impact World Heavyweight title. So he's over in Impact now, but he'll still be on AEW. It's they're bringing back the old school way of doing wrestling, apparently.
It's really weird and confusing, though.
Well, that's because WWE broke the mold.
Yeah.
And that's what we're used to.
And they are really faction heavy, which is another thing that I kind of have issue with AEW, is it seems like everybody's a part of a huge faction. So it is what it is.
They haven't brought the NWO back, so
I think I wanted that in WWE at one point, and then now I'm seeing why they didn't do it. Because it seems like it's like this team against this team against this team against this team, and it's just
what faction in AEW that makes me laugh out loud every time I see them is the Dark Order, because it doesn't make the main guy's name is Evil Uno. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
you're a grown man and you wear a suit and a mask and you're real chubby and your name is Evil Uno, and I'm supposed to take you and the Dark Order seriously?
And he's like the only one that looks remotely dark.
I know none of it makes any sense. It's in like, I don't granted, I've watched like 4 episodes of AEW in the last 2 years. So,
yeah. And Hangman Adam Page, the cowboy, is part of the Dark Order.
Now he is now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's total scum.
It doesn't make it's laughably bad. What I've seen now. Granted, like I said, I've only seen like 4 episodes, but of the 4 times that Dark Order I've seen, I have laughed out loud at them, not with them, at them.
Oh no,
this
100%.
is a bunch of grown men that look so stupid, and they're like, it's just everything about it is bad. And not bad in like a haha funny way, like bad in a cringe, I'm sorry for you and your families sort of way.
I will say that there are light spots in it, and there's good stuff. I love what they're doing with, like, say, Darby Allin and a few others that, these are guys that would never get a chance in WWE, but they're super talented and a lot of fun to watch. So anyway, enough of that. We'll talk about SummerSlam a little bit later. But we have a weird issue with SummerSlam because the show is on tonight, and I don't intend to release this episode until tomorrow. So we'll talk about it.
Well, that's WWE's fault for doing a pay-per-view on a Saturday night.
It is weird. Yeah. But it won't be like I've often wanted to do like a prediction show.
Well, I wonder if the Raiders have a home game tomorrow, and that's why preseason NFL stuff.
But I've wanted to do a prediction show. I always thought you and I met through the Ring Post podcast, and
RIP.
Yeah, right. And I thought that would be a really cool opportunity to do like because we used to do like a pick'em in our Slack channel there, and I thought it'd be really cool to actually turn that into a podcast, have a few of the guys on, talk about what our predictions are, why we're predicting it. Everybody can make fun of me because I make bad predictions, stuff like that. And
could still do that.
It would just be fun. And then we could do a results show not long after the pay-per-view. And then we can just make fun of everybody for being wrong about stuff. So I thought that would be a fun show to do, but time is an issue too.
Adorable that you think I'm going to be wrong in my predictions.
I didn't say you were going to be wrong. I'd probably be more wrong than you would be. I overthink everything. Although right before the pandemic, I was poised to take the year for. I think Henry pulled ahead of me, but I had WrestleMania yet to beat him, and there was a chance, but. Anyway, WrestleMania is a hard one to predict because it's almost like a season ender, so it can go just about any way. But All right, man. Well, iOS 15, we'll get a little bit to our tech talk for today. Do you have any follow-up for iOS 15? I've got a couple of things to say, but nothing huge.
I think it's funny that Safari looks more like old Safari now, which is quite funny to me. So, I mean, it's nice because you have your tab view buttons, your favorites and bookmarks button is back. Your share button, your navigation buttons are all right there. The only difference now is that the URL bars at the bottom, which I've actually gotten used to. So I kind of like how it is now.
I will say that I really like this version of it. I like that they brought the UI to the bottom of the screen. I didn't like how they had implemented it originally, but now that it's set up the way it is, this is the way that I would use it. I wouldn't go back to using it the old way, because I use I've got the 11 Pro Max, and for me to have to go to the top of the screen is readjusting my hand on the device to tap the top of the screen, then readjusting my hand to get back down to the bottom. And it's a big phone. I like it big, but it's stuff like that if I'm not using two hands, if I'm only using one hand, it becomes cumbersome to navigate. So
yeah. So I like that. One issue that I am having is HomeKit related. My HomePods and my shortcuts on my phone are what's the word? Terrible right now. And I'm not sure what that's about. Specifically with controlling lights in my house. So I will say, in my case, hey, Australian guy in this cute little white speaker, turn on my bedroom light. Siri will either not even acknowledge that I've said something, or will say, sorry, there's an invalid parameter in your shortcut, or will say the bedroom light's not responding. Or of all the smart lights that I have in my living room, they'll all turn on, but then Siri will say that like 3 of them are not responding. I'm like, well, they're on, so they did respond, and you're just dumb. But then like I'll open the HomeKit app and it will say updating all the lights, and then some of them will update with no response, but it takes like a legit like 15 seconds for them to update. And then it says no response, but it did respond because it's on. So I don't know what's going on. All of my HomePods, mini ones, all 2 of them are up to date. There's no software updates there. All of my light bulbs, there's no firmware updates. So I don't know. The only thing I can think of is that since I'm running the beta on my phone, it's causing issues in the HomeKit app on my phone. But my HomeKit hub is not my phone. It's my Apple TV, which is also up to date and not on any betas. So I genuinely am very confused.
yeah, a couple of those things I've had in the past too, but the Echo does that too to me sometimes. Or I'll ask it to turn off the living room light and say, oh, I can't do that, and then the lights turn off. So
it's very
something worked. So, and anyway, so not really a lot to talk about. The Safari definitely is a huge improvement over where it started. So I'm happy with that. They could leave it the way it is right now, and I would be pretty happy. So, and to note, there is a way to switch it back to the old style too. So that's something that they added in the latest beta. So if you don't like the address bar at the bottom, you don't have to have it at the bottom. It can be back at the top. So, all right, another toggle in the settings app.
Oh man, that settings app.
It's funny. It's funny to me sometimes when I'm using one of my devices and I look at it and say, okay, I need it to do this right now. Why does it not work? And I'll go into the settings app and I can't find anything to do this. I'll do a web search, nothing. It won't do it. But then you've got a toggle to switch it back to the old style of Safari, and it's just it kind of surprises me the things that you can change the settings on and the things that you can't. So if I only worked at Apple. So we are moving into crazy season for Apple,
Yes.
starting probably next month. I haven't heard anything. I mean, there's always a chance that we could get something before the end of this month, but at this point, it's probably not likely. But early to mid September, we should be expecting an iPhone announcement. So, do you have any feelings about that? Any predictions? Anything you want?
Anything that I want.
I mean, it's pretty obvious from the rumors that they're going to be improving the camera.
Well, they do that every year, which is quite funny. And then I wonder what, like, because isn't it just the Pro that has the OLED screen on the 12?
I think the 12 they pushed the OLED everywhere. I think it was the 11 that they didn't. The OLED was only in the Pro.
Yeah. So I have an 11, just a normal 11, 2 cameras, normal guy. So I'm up for a 13 or 12S or whatever the heck they're going to call it. So I personally would appreciate, I'll probably want to go with a Pro this time. I doubt I'll do the Max. Like, this is already big enough. I don't even know how you handle a bigger phone than this, Mitch.
You got big hands.
Well, yeah, mine aren't little either, but like, still, I like being able to like hold my phone and not, we'll come back to this in a minute. There's another reason why I don't want the bigger phone.
Okay.
But that was related to another potential product. So I actually like the 11, the normal 11 size, not the Max. But I would like to go to the Pro to get the better camera. And I would like the OLED display, which I don't have currently. Face ID works great for me. I mean, honestly, like, part of me even wonders, do I even need a new phone? Like, this 11 is still really, really good.
My wife and I were just talking about that yesterday, that, Apple's going to have to do something that's going to woo me to buy this phone. I mean, yeah, I'm excited to get something new, but
that's the thing, right? Is like, we don't need a new phone. My battery life is still incredible on this thing. It's 2 years old. So like, this planned obsolescence thing that we all, know is a real thing. Like, I guess, like, would an OLED screen be nice? Yeah. Do I need it? Absolutely not. Do I need a third camera on this phone? No, because if I'm going to take really, like, this is just for spur of the moment stuff. Otherwise, I'm using my Canon camera, So I don't know. I don't know what they would do that would cause me to want to.
Well, I think that there's been talk about going to the ProMotion display. You're the only one of the two of us that has anything with a ProMotion display on it. I think your iPad,
the iPad Pro,
has the higher frame rate on it. I don't know if it's even something you notice, but
no, it's if my iPad Pro has it, I don't notice it at all.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe my eyeballs are broken.
That could always be too. I know it definitely feels like mine are, but it's a hard decision for me too to figure out. There's talk about an always on display.
Oh, that's right. I had heard that rumor. I'd forgotten about it though. That would be, I don't know if I'd want that on a phone.
I guess it depends on how it's implemented. I would love to see complications come to the phone. And that might be something that they could drive with the always on display. So you could just glance down at your phone and see the time. Like, I have it sitting on my desk right now. I could glance over. I could see the time, what the weather is. Maybe there's a couple of complications that I could have on the main screen. That it just make it a little bit, just that much nicer. Just a nice added feature to it. I wouldn't hate it. I think I would have to break the mental thing of the screen's on and it can be interacted with. Just the idea that like, if I put a phone in my pocket and the screen is on, it does stuff. And I would have to break my mental that mental conditioning that I have, that if there's something on the screen, it can be manipulated or something can be done with it. Because I'm sure you won't be able to just touch it and get the weather or anything like that. It's just a static display, so to speak. Technically not, because it would change. But but you couldn't manipulate it unless you unlocked the phone. So I think that would be cool. I think the ProMotion display, if it is an improvement, and always on display, starts to get me there. I think the other argument that I had for updating this year would be just the trade-in value on the phone, on the current phone, because if you wait till next year, the trade-in value perceivably could go down significantly. So now you're paying more monthly for your phone, or you're paying more out of pocket for the phone than you would really be doing it this year. So, you got to kind of weigh that too.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know. I guess we shall see in mere weeks, Mitch, what Apple's going to do to try and get more of our money.
Mm-hmm. Also rumored a new Apple Watch. I don't know if you've seen any of the renders.
I've heard it's like a flatter design.
It's going to like a flat edge on it, more like the iPhone. From what I've seen so far, I don't hate it. It looks nice, but I really am reserving judgment until I actually see it, because I think a shiny, like a gold or a silver on the edges could really be attractive looking in that design. Because it wouldn't look just like a little round chrome. It would actually look like a little mirror. I think it would definitely change the perception of a reflective finish there. So, not that I would buy the stainless steel model or anything for that, because
Mitch be rolling in it.
I'm just telling you, I'm due. Like my Apple Watch has got gouges in it from work, so I am due for a new one.
I am not. I have the Series 6, so I'm good.
Yeah.
And I wore the Series 0, the original one, literally until the screen popped off because the battery swelled.
Yeah.
So I will wear this one until a similar fate occurs.
Yeah, I definitely like getting the pulse oximeter sensor. I'm interested to see what they're going to have for the new sensors on the device. There's some talk about a temperature sensor for sensing body temperature. There's always a rumor that they're working on being able to measure blood sugar.
How?
I don't know. But they're apparently, there are ways. So it'll be interesting.
Science.
I don't personally know, but yeah, that's why I'm not building the iPhone or the Apple Watch rather.
Just waiting for the Day You Die app,
Yeah.
If you wear your Apple Watch long enough, we can predict the day you will drop dead.
Sweet.
Every morning you check, smiley face. Not today. All right, let's go.
So just aside, have you have Amazon Prime Video, right?
Yes.
Have you seen the Chris Pratt movie that they just put up on there called The Future War or The Tomorrow War?
Yeah, I watched it when it came out.
Oh, that was good. It was fun.
I disagree. The first half of the movie was incredible. Or the first part of the movie was incredible. Mm-hmm. The second part of the movie was
I like
not my favorite.
It's the doesn't have to make sense summer romp style movie. So
I mean, it was really well done. Don't get me wrong. Like it was shot well. Like it was incredibly well directed and produced. But the storyline for me, and I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a certain point in not quite the middle of the movie. It's like 2/3 where something happens and the movie totally shifts in a different direction. And that first part to me was like really good.
You're talking about the twist, aren't you? Can you call it a twist?
When
the character,
not when that's revealed, but when everything goes bad and then Chris Pratt goes back. I'll just say that.
Okay.
When he goes back, that's when the movie goes downhill big time for me.
Yeah, they really rushed all of that. but for good reason, because it could have been like a 5-hour movie if they would have included any detail of that. But
I just don't want to give any spoilers because it's worth a watch, especially because it's for free.
Right.
But yeah, it was just one of those like, man, this is really, really good. Oh, now this is not so good anymore. But I'm going to finish it because there's only 20 minutes.
What made me think of it is your The Day You Die app, because he knows when he's going to die after he goes forward. So that is interesting. So I'm not ruining anything by telling you that, because
it's not integral to the plot of the movie. It's just
I mean, there's
it's a motivating factor for the character. Yeah.
Anyway, you think we'll see a new Apple TV?
No.
Okay.
They just released one, the 4K one.
They released a new one? Oh, okay.
Last year, I think. Got Dolby Vision and supports Dolby Atmos and all that sort of stuff.
All right. I concede.
And it came with the new remote, remember?
Ah, yes. Thank you. The remote. Yeah, they could have just updated the remote and that would have been fine. But actually, I kind of feel like that's all they really did. Updated the remote. But there's some iPad rumors or something like that too.
Yes, and this is why I don't want the bigger phone, Mitch.
Because is it the iPad Mini?
Mini, yes. If it looks like the iPad Air, but comes in the form factor, I shall be purchasing one. It shall be my couch pad of glory. What are you giggling at?
Oh, I just think your couch pad idea is funny.
It's not my idea. CGP Grace.
No,
He's like, why would you look on your phone when you can look on an iPad? Yeah. I was like, that's a great point, sir. Touche. It's like, if you're on the couch and you have an iPad and you're looking on your phone, you're doing it wrong.
No, I may be updating my iPad or in the next year or so, just because I've been using it a lot more lately, and the oldness of it is starting to show. So,
which one do you have?
I have the original iPad Pro, the 9.7 inch.
Yeah, it's an oldie but a goodie, right?
Yeah. It's a collector's edition. No, I went online to see what I would get for it if I traded it in, and I think Apple offered me like $10 for it. All right, I guess I'll hold on to that. But I'm more tempted to actually swing towards a 12.9 inch. I use mine.
They're so big.
I use mine in dual screen a lot. The two ways that I really use it the most is for doing Bible study. So I have Logos open on one side and Craft open on the other, and I'm kind of just cutting and pasting things in for different notes and stuff like that. And then I use it at church for running the live stream. So I have the Streamlabs remote app on one side, and I have Proclaim, our presentation software remote app, on the other. And then on the computer screen next to me, I have Streamlabs, so I can monitor what's being broadcast. But that's how I run the live stream. So, and on this little 9.7 inch, it's a little tight. So the space is a little tight. But you're laughing at me.
No, I'm laughing because of course Christian streaming software would be called something like Proclaim.
That's Faith Life's.
I know, it's just like
it's so good too.
It's just funny to me. Like, they just can't help themselves.
No. Yeah, whatever. It's good stuff. So I was going to try and look up and see what else is being rumored for the fall.
I mean, people are obviously anxious for the next M chip, and then the revved MacBook Pro, and iMac or Mac Pro or Mac Mini Pro. So there's a bunch of rumors around that, but I mean, September is usually the iPhone event with one or two add-ons, and so there might be October event as there has been in the past. That's more focused on the other hardware. But if you want eyeballs, you announce it in September with the iPhone. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the rumor right now, I think, is that the MacBooks will be announced in October or November. There'll be a second event.
So, quick aside, well, it's related. Anyways, I just got a new computer through work, and I thought I was getting an Intel MacBook Pro to replace my god awful Dell Windows machine, and they sent me the MacBook Pro with the M1 chip in it, which was a surprise. And I was like, awesome, sweet. And I was also supposed to get a USB-C hub that was going to let me run my dual monitors that I have. Turns out M1 chip Macs can't support 2 monitors.
Yep, they only support 1.
Which I was, 1, completely unaware of, and 2, highly disappointed in. So my Dell can run 3 monitors, no sweat. But my brand new MacBook Pro can only support 1 external monitor. Are you kidding me? Why? It immediately removes Pro from the name. There's no reason a Pro computer should only be able to support 1 external monitor. It's ridiculous. I have 3 monitors on my wall in my church, in my office at the church. Now I can't use them. I can use 1. So I was very happy to get a new MacBook Pro through work to get rid of my seemingly dinosaur, PC. Turns out, new MacBook Pro is Bush League. Like, I'm really annoyed.
I'm sorry you're annoyed.
It's not a Pro device. Then it literally cannot be considered a Pro device if it can't support multiple displays. I've been lied to, Mitchell.
I don't know how to help you.
I don't know.
I didn't buy it for you. So
I didn't buy it either. The company did. And I was told I was getting an Intel machine, which they still make and still sell.
Do you think they would return it and get you the other one?
Well, this has already been. I put the request in 2 weeks ago. They had to order it from CDW and then set it up with the admin account, and then they sent it to FedEx. It sat in Texas for 4 days before it shipped. So it was supposed to show up on a Tuesday. Then it was supposed to show up on a Wednesday. And then it didn't show up till Thursday. And my company, I swear to you, only has 1 person in the IT department that can set Macs up. Everybody else only sets up PCs. So the 1 person that can set the Macs up was out of office Thursday and Friday. So I've had this computer sitting here for 2 days, and I can't use it because they haven't put my, corporate account on it. So I won't even get it set up until Monday. So it'll be 14-day process to get a computer set up. I can't actually go through that again because I have assignments that are due on Friday that I need this computer. There's the whole reason I switched to the Mac was to be able to use some software to pull off some stuff that I couldn't do on the PC. So I literally don't have time to do this again.
Okay.
So hopefully my frustration at such a silly situation that I shouldn't be so annoyed about is coming through, but I am very annoyed.
I'm sorry. If I was closer to you, I'd come over and give you a hug.
Hug, Mitch. I want a computer that can run multiple monitors.
Oh, and you have to settle for a hug.
Like, am I crazy for being mad about that?
So no, but when they came out, they did say that they could only run 1 monitor or 1 additional monitor. It could run 2 monitors total.
Oh, I missed that. And I also didn't know I was getting an M1 machine. I was told I was getting an Intel. So
yeah,
whatever.
No,
I'll just let my monitor sit on the wall and do nothing. Anyways.
What do you want to see in AirPods that would get your attention?
I want AirPods Pro that have the original AirPods interactivity. And I know I'm in the minority here. I know. And I don't care. I want it the way that I want it because I'll say it again. It makes no sense to me that you would have the AirPods that have the longer stem just be the tap version, and then you cut that stem in half and put a physical button where I have to like be precisely like. If you make them smaller, I should just have to tap on them. Like make it easier and more user friendly. It drives me, and then the noise the button makes when you push it is awful. I hate it. I love my AirPods.
I could not disagree with you more.
You're allowed to be wrong, Mitch. It's totally fine.
I love it so much better than the old AirPods.
Nope, you're wrong.
The only issue I'm having right now is my stupid left AirPod is doing the buzzing thing, and because I already had the right one replaced, they want to charge me the cost of the AirPods to replace the other one.
It still blows my mind.
But I gotta tell you, I sat down with that song that we talked about a couple episodes back, that Boom by Tiesto and Seven, and put my AirPods Pro in, and dude, these AirPods Max are amazing. The Max. I thought I said Max. These things are just the bass in these compared to the they're great. I like them a lot.
I'm happy for you.
No,
I won't spend that much money. If I'm going to spend that much money on headphones, they're going to be custom molded in-ear monitors, and I'm going to have to spend twice what you spend on those. So,
I can understand why people. For me, these things are amazing. Like I use them every day. To throw them on. One of the things I do is when I'm getting ready to go to work, I'm putting together my meal and whatever. I'll throw some music on in them and run around, and I've got the transparency mode on, so I can hear the cats yelling at me because they want attention because they know I'm leaving for work. And like it's such an awesome experience. Like they sound so good. And then like I went out to mow the lawn one day and it was cooler out. I don't want them sweating these, but it was cooler out, so I figured I'd get away with them. And I put them in active noise cancellation mode, and literally could hear nothing except the podcast I was listening to. And the noise cancellation in these is incredible. Like I've never owned anything with better noise cancellation. They're just, these things are a dream. I love them. So worth the $500. 100%. For me. It's might not be for everybody, but for me it was.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, no, I mean, I just want them to fix the AirPods Pro. That's all.
To me, and again, I know we disagree on this, but I just feel like the AirPods Pro are just what they need to be. Like, I don't know what they need to change outside of maybe fixing some issues like the buzzing in them, and hopefully they fix that in later production runs. But beyond that, like I don't know what I would want. The new there's new Beats in-ear headphones that I can't remember the name of off the top of my head, but they're $150 and they do most everything that the AirPods Pro do. And like I considered replacing my AirPods Pro with those. They're small, they're a little smaller, a little more compact. If there was anything that I would want different about the AirPods Pro is just to remove the stem and make it a little bit more in-ear. Ultimately, what I want for in-ear headphones are headphones that are in my ear, not like sticking out, and that they're in the ear canal with maybe a little plastic piece to pull them out. That's what I want. And so if I'm at work or if I want to listen to something in them, it doesn't look like I have headphones on. If anything, it might look like I have a hearing aid in. That's what I want. But
so people think that you're just aloof and not listening to music.
I don't need people to know that I'm because there are times like during the day when I'm at work where I don't need to be able to hear anything. right now I put my bone conduction headphones on, but they can kind of get in the way when I'm working, and then of course we have to wear masks now, so the strap that comes down for my mask right here, hits the bone conduction headphones, and and I can hear everything just fine, because they don't cover my ears. But I'm able to listen to a baseball game or a podcast or something like that. I burned through like 2 podcasts at work yesterday. It was great. I just would like something that would hide away and wouldn't be an issue. But the technology is not there to make them small enough yet, I don't think. So that's what I would want for AirPods, but I think we're probably about 5-10 years from anything close.
Invisible AirPods.
Invisible AirPods would be awesome. All right. Anything else that we could talk about is that we could see this fall? I think AirPods are definitely on the list of stuff. There's still, I don't think we're going to see it this fall, but there's still the updates to the Mac Pro, like a mini Mac Pro. Like I said, I don't think we'll see those this fall, but
we shall see.
I would love if they leaned into the iPhone 13. There's been folks that have been proposing that they skip the 13 for superstitious reasons.
Yeah.
It's
like everyone on the 14th floor, you're really on the 13th floor.
Yeah.
So dumb.
But Mac Rumors has 4 sizes listed for the iPhone 13, similar to the iPhone 12 lineup, a smaller notch, 120 hertz ProMotion display, camera improvements, A15 chip, 5G, fall launch. Yeah, nothing spectacular.
5G.
Yep.
5G.
New wallpapers.
Ooh, get me one. I love a nice wallpaper.
Oh, I'm totally down for a wallpaper. All right. I know they've talked a little bit about, I think they'll stick with Lightning on this one, but they have talked about going to no a portless or switching to USB-C. What do you think about Touch ID in the screen?
Android already has it.
Yeah.
Android phones already have it. So
does it work that well though? Because I heard that it didn't really work that well.
I don't know. I only know one person that has it, and I haven't talked to him about it.
It would, for some people, it probably wouldn't be terrible for them to have the option, but I don't need it. So 1 terabyte of storage being the max option.
All right. Store all your TikTok videos on your phone.
I did recently I was taking some video in Filmic Pro, and I got a pop-up that said, "Oh, by the way, you have 2 gigs left on your phone." Like, I have a 256 gig phone. Like, I've got plenty of storage. I'm like, what the heck? Well, I'd forgotten that I had downloaded like the entire season of The Office on my phone, which was like 65, 85 gigs or something like that. And then I had a couple other series that I had downloaded. I downloaded a whole bunch of stuff to my phone for our trip to Florida, and then I totally forgot that it was on there. So,
whoopsies.
I would upgrade to this phone for MagSafe. That's been something that I've been interested in, because I would like having that capability of just being able to stick it to stuff. Like, I would probably buy quite a few accessories, maybe not Federico level accessories, but I would be down to buy some accessories for it so that I could just like put it up there. So right now I don't run like any kind of magnetic like car mount for it, because number one, I don't need it. I have CarPlay, but occasionally like I want to put it up there for some reason, and I can't really put anything on the back because it's got wireless charging, and I don't want to block the wireless charging. And that's another reason why I don't have any kind of like little loop on the back to hold the phone, or I wouldn't use a pop socket, but something like a pop socket that I could use for holding the phone and maneuvering it one-handed more easily. I used to have one of these little rings on the back of the phone where I could stick my finger through and hold the phone, and it made it easier to get around the screen better. But I can't do that because I need to be able to throw it on the charger at night, and I don't want to have to take my case off every night for that. So I think the MagSafe would be a really nice convenience. So
I guess that makes me the old man of this group. I still plug my phone in to charge it.
I have used wireless charging since it'll be the last phone. 11, that would have been the 8. I think that's when they introduced the wireless charging. I got that Mophie wireless charger that they talked about in the iPhone 8 and iPhone 10 presentation, the keynote. And so I bought that, and I've been using that ever since. So nearly 4 years now that I've been using that. I like it a lot because I get home and I just drop it on the charger and good to go. Sits there overnight.
Braver man than I am.
It works. Why does it make me brave?
I'm in the same camp as Mike Hurley. Just, it isn't natural. It's not right.
Yeah.
Just waiting for something to explode.
That's weird.
There was that whole AirPower thing that Apple had that vanished, that never got released because they couldn't stop it from overheating and catching fire. So
it's never even been warm. You guys are crazy.
Also, you can't use your device while it's wirelessly charging. So that's my bigger reason.
You use your device by picking it up, using it, and then putting it back down.
Then it's not charging. I have a 6 foot lightning cable that I can use.
Dude, do you need to charge it that often?
No, I don't. But
you put it on the charger when you go to bed at night, and you wake up the next morning, and it's got a full charge, and you use it all day.
I know, but if I've taken lots of photos and videos, and I'm sitting on the couch and not using my iPad like a dummy, I want to be able to charge my phone.
Yeah, I've never needed to because it's pretty rare to see my phone under 50%. So,
mine gets under 50 every day. I must use it.
I got a bigger battery in mine.
That's true.
Yeah,
you don't got to brag about it.
I'm just saying. You don't have to have battery envy.
Yeah, that's what it is. Got me.
All right. Well, I don't know that there's a whole lot else to talk about. So one thing I did want to cover today, and this is, again, you can skip this chapter if you're not interested in listening to the wrestling talk, but SummerSlam is tonight.
The Graps.
Yeah. Do you have feelings about SummerSlam in general?
I'm trying to think if there's a match that I've been less interested in my entire life than Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg.
100%.
And it's probably the last match Goldberg was in, was probably the one I had this much distaste for. I don't know why.
Really bothers me. It really bothers me that it seems like they do this for SummerSlam every year.
Well, and WrestleMania, they always bring people back.
Well, WrestleMania a little bit less so, I think, but SummerSlam, it seems like they do it. Don't get me wrong. Man, that look you just gave me. But they seem to do this at SummerSlam a lot, where they bring back some of the golden oldies, Hall of Famers, stuff like that. And to me, you hear the complaint all the time that these new guys get buried. But the new guys are the ones that are hungry, that are putting on good matches. And I'm sorry, but the last time I saw Goldberg wrestle and he almost killed the Undertaker, I'm sorry, dude. He does not belong in a ring.
Well, his last match was against McIntyre, right? But yeah, you're right. When he suplexed or whatever Undertaker, and it was this close to him not being okay.
He gave him the jackknife, I think, and when he turned, he didn't have him in the right position and dropped him on his head. And it's like,
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Well,
like,
and it's not like Bobby Lashley's a small man. So
mm-hmm. I mean, and there's been other guys that have wrestled that have been dangerous people to wrestle, and a lot of them don't work for the WWE anymore. And so, like, why they keep giving this to Goldberg? And I remember in the match with the Undertaker, Goldberg slammed his head into the ring post at one point, and like he was punch drunk for the rest of the match. I think that was part of why he almost killed the Undertaker. Because I'm sorry, but at some point, if you can't pull off your moves, you need to call the match. I think that was at the Super Showdown in
Saudi.
Yeah, in Saudi Arabia. I don't know why I couldn't think of how to pronounce it, but I kind of feel the same way about the Roman Reigns John Cena match, but I feel like it's had a little bit better build.
Infinitely better. Like Goldberg is garbage on the mic. And John Cena and Roman are both really good.
My biggest problem with it is that they brought Balor into the mix and then just dismissed him. And it's like, that was so tasteless the way that all went down.
Well, it's because Balor's going to be Roman's next opponent.
Well, and I don't have a problem with that, but it literally was like, oh, step out of the way, son. I'm going to take this match. And it's like,
but it was really good usage of Baron Corbin. Like,
yeah,
I love poor crowdfunding Baron Corbin. Like, I've never liked that. He's a very good wrestler. And I've never liked him. He's the type of person you enjoy not liking. Like, he's the classic heel of like, oh, I really don't like you, and I really like not liking you. But this version of him is so good. Like, I love it. It's amazing.
So do you ever get the feeling like, oh man, just help the brother out? And
no,
and
I love
just hates him.
And so him coming into the ring and taking Balor out, and that was just such, especially because he's not on the show. Like, it was really like no one saw that coming. It was really good. And then of course Balor just owns him in the the payback match. But I mean, I get what you're saying. John Cena coming in and stealing something from a regular guy. I get that, but I thought it was a really clever use of Baron Corbin's desperate character and an opportunity for Finn to squash somebody else. But I mean, if he's not next, then it makes no sense whatsoever.
Right.
But I get where you're coming from.
There was just like the indie side of wrestling that I could definitely look at it and say, okay, here's this, established guy coming in here, taking another opportunity away from somebody who's hungry and is, fighting to, put food on his table or whatever. And, I can kind of see that point of view. So
what I'm really quick before we go through the card is in 12 years, who are the big guys that are coming back? Like, who's a big enough star now that if they came back in 12 years, like Cena has or Goldberg, that is going to draw? Roman?
McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre. Those are the only two I can think of.
Yeah, I don't buy Lashley at this point.
No. I
know I know what he wants, but I just don't feel it. Like, he's not, I don't see him as a Hall of Famer. No. He's not that great on the mic.
No, he's terrible. He's so unbelievable, and not like unbelievable in a good way. Like, I don't believe anything you're saying. You have zero charisma. That's why they brought MVP out of retirement to be because that man can talk.
Right.
And you believe every single word he says. But Bobby Lashley is just like, when they brought him back and tried to make him a baby face and ended like that sit down interview about him and his sisters. And it was just like, oh my, this is worse than Jerry Springer. It's terrible. He's a good wrestler. I'll give him that. He plays the big man role pretty well, but so boring. The fact that he's had the title this long is shocking to me.
So speaking of like bringing a manager in to talk for a guy, what are they doing with
Paul Heyman?
With Paul Heyman. Like I feel like he's so wasted with Roman, because Roman can talk.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
but that's the point. He's so full of himself that he brings somebody in that he doesn't need to do half of the talking. So when he does talk, it's like, okay, now the champ is in the room.
yeah.
So it's just that it's a person who's rich and full of themselves who can do something but pawns it off on somebody else. And then when he does talk, it's like, it's like the parent equivalent of wait till your dad gets home. Oh, Roman's talking. This is serious now, you know. But you're right, Paul Heyman. Like they could have someone not as good as Paul Heyman in that same role, but the fact that he is that good, I think, further pushes the Roman is just an egomaniac.
Okay, I buy that.
Plus, that one time, the first time that Paul Heyman or Roman was talking, and then they zoomed out and Heyman was next to him on the couch, the reaction, so good. You want to run through the card?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now. So we hit basically what they put in as the two big championship matches, which will probably headline.
Yeah. So who's winning, Reigns or Cena? Because remember, if Cena wins, he stands alone at the top of the mountain the 17th time.
I feel like that's why they brought him back.
And Ric Flair just left.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed up at Triple Mania in Andrade's corner in Mexico City.
So here's the thing. I think when he came back, there was a pretty good likelihood that Roman was going to retain. I think there's a possibility, because I do think that Vince can be like this. That with yeah, I think there's a chance that John Cena walks away with the title. I don't think he holds it very long. I think he loses it pretty quick after that, but I think he leaves SummerSlam with the title.
Okay, I'll take Reigns.
All right. Well,
I totally agree with you that I totally agree that could happen.
I think that they just give Ric Flair the needle and let John Cena surpass him.
Yeah, and the thing is, like I'm about to say, would they be that petty? Of course they would.
Mm-hmm.
And this is professional wrestling. It's professional pettiness. That's all it is. But the storyline with Roman has been the storyline for the last year and a half, right? And could they recover from this by giving it to Cena? Absolutely, right? Especially if Cena doesn't win quick, because all of his promos are like, doesn't win clean. All I have to do is 1, 2, 3. Doesn't matter. I just have to get you down. So do we see heel Cena win this? Like, this is why this is so much better than Goldberg and Lashley in every way.
Yeah. Because
we're here knowing that Roman should win.
Yeah.
But all of the things that Cena brings to the table, the never happening heel turn, the standing alone at the top, like, I know Roman should win this, and I know I picked him, but like the more I think about it, I'm like, oh, there's like 75 different angles this could take, and it would be really compelling.
By the way, the 1, 2, 3 promo was, I think, one of the best promos I've seen Cena do in a while. That was good, because he 1, 2, 3 became, that was like all he had to say at the end of the promo, and it just.
So yeah, the rumors I heard about that was that Roman and him were so intent on nailing that promo that they avoided each other backstage like before, because they didn't want to, they wanted it to be hot. Like they wanted it, and it worked so good. Like the Nikki Bella dag, I was like, oh boy, they're going for this one, aren't they? Lady referring to John Cena as the missionary position. Like, it's like, oh my God, this is so good. It's like, Roman's usually not one to take cheap shots, but he took multiple cheap shots.
He let him have it.
Well, in the previous run they did, Cena was doing all the basic stuff, taking all the cheap shots on Roman and telling Roman all the arguments you're making, I've heard from everybody else. And this time Roman said to Cena, you're making the same old argument, So like, there's just the history in the promo is so good too.
Yeah.
So I'm still picking Reigns, but my goodness, if Cena wins, there could be some.
That would be crazy.
Yeah.
So Lashley Goldberg.
I don't care.
I I'm only CBS Sports. That's where I'm looking at the card. They picked Goldberg. So I didn't read the reasoning why. They've got it all listed here, but for me, like it seems like every time Goldberg comes back, he wins the title and then he loses it not long after. It's almost like they're trying to build up the number of times he's won the title, and which is silly. But he comes back, holds it, drops it, and disappears again for a while. And I think that's plausible. The only reason for Lashley to win at this point, I think, is to build Lashley. And I kind of feel like maybe they need to do that because I think he's lost a lot of momentum. Unless he just drops the belt to Goldberg so that McIntyre can come in and win it off of Goldberg.
And beat Goldberg again. Oh
yeah.
My God. Ew.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I won't even watch this match. I will skip this one. So I'm not even going to predict because I genuinely do not care.
All right.
Like this is a waste of 20 minutes is what it is, this match.
I'll pick Goldberg, and I bet you it's over, and I would think it's going to be a quick Goldberg match.
Spam the spear and then jackhammer?
Yep.
So dumb.
He takes the belt off Lashley and hands it off to McIntyre in their next match.
Yeah, because McIntyre can't challenge as long as Lashley holds it, right? That was the stipulation when he lost.
Yep.
Well, but he's in a program with Jinder Mahal. Like,
yeah.
Talk about there's got to be someone else. They got to put it on someone other than McIntyre. They can't go right back to him.
What do you think about putting it on Jinder Mahal and then reigniting that feud between McIntyre and Jinder?
I mean, that's one way to do it, but if they go right back to McIntyre, like they've done nothing to build anybody else up, especially if Lashley loses to Goldberg.
It'll be interesting. We'll see.
Who else is even at the top of the card on Raw? Unless, what if Big E cashes in against Goldberg and Lashley?
That would be sweet.
Big E takes it off of now Goldberg. I'm interested. Now I'm interested. Then you have Big E versus Lashley, which I would watch because Big E's amazing, and I want to see him throw Bobby Lashley around like a small rag doll.
Yeah, that'd be a good match. That'd be a fun.
Then the other option is does he cash in the Cena, because he's been teasing Paul Heyman showing up in his promos with the case.
Yeah, but that could be misdirection too.
Oh, absolutely. But man, if he cashes in the Goldberg Lashley match, I will be so happy.
He cashes in on Goldberg or Lashley even.
I think the story would be he pins Goldberg for it, right? And then him and Lashley have the feud, and that's Goldberg's whole purpose.
Yep.
And he gets to brag that he took out Goldberg.
But here's something. So I forget. E is on SmackDown right now, right?
Yep. And then
if he takes the heavyweight champ or he goes back to Raw, which reunites
him with the New Day. Yes.
Yeah.
Which we all want because they're magic.
Yeah.
I also heard a rumor, by the way, about them that one of the initial names for their group, the New Day, was Fresh Coat of Paint, which, thank you, Jesus, did not happen.
That would have been terrible. That was a loser right out of the gate.
Fresh coat of paint. Yes, it is. It's like, how did that even? And now it's a rumor, so it could be totally wrong, right? But my goodness, how bad would that have been? They would have been dead on arrival, just like Mustafa Ali's
Retribution.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I like Ali.
That was cool for about 2 seconds.
So as amazing as Kofi Mania was, right? Imagine where Ali would be now if he hadn't have gotten hurt. Because that was his storyline. And they gave it to Kofi. And I'm super happy that Kofi got it because Kofi's awesome. But like Ali is so underutilized. And he actually made Retribution watchable. And it was terrible. He did everything he could to make it good. Then him and Ricochet had a run of like 6 or 7 matches on main event that were just bonkers.
Because now he's talented.
Well, and he's good on the mic. He's believable. Like, he's incredibly talented. And now he's working with Mansoor, which is quite like the odd couple pairing, and they're doing everything they can to make it work. And I just like, man, he's working so hard. And even when he was hurt, the stuff he was doing on Twitter is like, this guy is putting in all the work, and he's little. So,
yeah.
But he's jacked and he can fly around. He just happens to be like 5'11" and like 190 pounds. It's not his fault.
Yeah.
Dude's got talent. Anyways, sorry.
We got to move on here. We could talk about this stuff all day. The Raw Women's Championship. Possibly one of the worst characters I've seen. Nikki Ash.
ASH. Come on.
ASH, sorry. Nikki ASH versus Rhea Ripley, which I'm going to tell you, I just can't, I have difficulty believing her. I get just the characters.
She's not a great promo, but
the character stopped working when she got called up.
Shocking, an NXT character that doesn't work on the main roster because they don't know what to do with them. They don't know how to work them. She was awesome in NXT. I think she's really talented. Very, very good wrestler. Her promos are not great. You can tell she's trying too hard.
They're trying to brand her, and I think that's a mistake. That's something that you don't see in NXT a whole lot, where they let them loose to do their thing. Where once they get called up to the main roster, all of a sudden now they're way more scripted. They're trying to put a brand on them, like the Nightmare. That just never is fit for her. I'm sorry, but that just does. I don't buy that.
I want to see a match between her and the Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. That's what I want to see. The two Nightmares, and then Bray Wyatt just shows up and crushes
Nightmare versus Nightmare.
That's the other thing. If they frickin' put the universe or the WWE Championship on Goldberg after they got rid of Bray Wyatt, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm already mad they let him go. Stupid. So dumb. They stole his character, gave it to Alexa Bliss. They're going to make buku bucks off of her and Lily, and then kicked him to the curb. It's like, anyways. Yeah. So this match, I agree that Nikki, almost a superhero, is rough.
But but
I love that she's going full send with it. Like if she's
selling it. Yeah.
But she's always been like, when she was crazy Nikki Cross and Insanity, like she was full send psychotic the whole time, screaming and like just like she does everything super well. She's a great wrestler. She's a great promo, even in this somewhat ridiculous outfit. But
so what if she loses the title and becomes Nikki ASV? Almost super villain. Would that make it better?
Yes.
I think it would. Like, like somehow they turn the whole character to be a villain. Because she feels slighted. It's a bit of a heel turn for her, kind of a heel turn.
Almost a heel turn.
almost a heel turn. I think that could be interesting. And Charlotte Flair, let's say she takes the belt,
or she does.
Yeah, I don't think that's outside the realm of possibility in this match for sure. I just feel like they're going to bury Rhea again. Nikki's going to lose the belt. She's going to be upset. She's going to, I think that could be an interesting storyline and an interesting aftermath of something like this. So she feels cheated in some way. Maybe Charlotte doesn't win clean, be interesting. SmackDown Women's Champion, Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks 2.
Bianca.
Yeah. I kind of feel like this could go either way, but I think
there's no
reason to take the belt off of her yet.
Unless they're going to go for Bianca and Sasha 3.
Yeah.
But, and what's coming? What are the pay-per-views coming up? We've got Hell in a Cell in the fall.
I'm not sure what's coming up next.
Have they done Elimination Chamber yet?
I think Elimination Chamber is usually an October event, isn't it? Hell in a Cell or Elimination Chamber. I think Hell in a Cell is in October.
Yeah, and then Survivor Series is November, and then Elimination Chamber is either September or December,
possibly.
I think it's
December or January. Does
no,
that
January is Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble, right? Because that kicks off. Is that usually in the Road to WrestleMania though?
I thought it was. So maybe they've
Yeah.
already done it and I just forgot about it.
I think they've moved it a couple of times. I think they've bounced it around a little bit, but yeah, I think Elimination Chamber could possibly be in the Road to WrestleMania. So that would put it in like February, maybe. Because Fastlane would be in March.
And then Money in the Bank. It's just
Yeah.
So Hell in a Cell for sure. Survivor Series in November. I don't know what the September one's going to be. TLC is usually December.
Okay.
So I don't remember what Night of Champions. That was in December. I don't know. They moved some of them around.
We'll figure it out.
I was just trying to think based on the upcoming pay-per-views, what a third rubber match like in a Hell in a Cell, but they're not going to wait that long. I don't think 2 months to do it. They could. Just depends on how they play it, but I mean, it's clear that they want to make Bianca a star and that they have.
Yeah. No, I think Bianca holds on to it. I'm trying to think of the title changes that would make the greatest impact. Or the reasons for the title changes, because you're only get 1 or 2 title changes in the event, unless they decide to do a bunch of title changes, which they've done, I think, once in the last 5 years or so. But all right, AJ Styles and Almost versus Randy Orton and Riddle. How fun would it be to see Randy and Riddle take?
Oh, they have to put the belts on. They have to, right?
Yeah, after all that they've gone through. Either that or this match, Randy turns on Riddle and that starts a feud between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only other thing I can think of. But I think it would be too much fun to watch them as champs.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow they figure out a way. So so I have a real beef with the big guy. The whole concept of the big, like, invincible character in the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that they always talk about when it comes to fighting the big guy is you work their legs. If you can take their legs out from under them, you take their power away from them. Why nobody does this? and it frustrates me every match. Oh, we got Almost is
fighting.
I know it's not real, but it's like such a glaring issue, because if this was real,
oh yeah,
you just like attack the guy's knees and then suddenly you've
he'd already have to have braces on both legs just to walk if this was real fighting, because everyone would just destroy his legs.
Yeah. So, but they
it's like when people forget how to climb a ladder in a ladder match just to give someone time to come knock him off. It's like, oh my god, you could have been up there 30 seconds ago, dude. And like Dolph Ziggler's the worst. She's like,
oh, I can't get up the ladder. I forgot how to.
Where did the rungs go? I can't find them with my feet. It looks like a fish out of water. And it's like, dude, you were selling this way too much. Anyways, yeah, this is the part where you have to get back to the suspension of disbelief, right? Like, make me forget this is fake,
right?
And oftentimes they cannot do that.
Oh, it's terrible.
So yeah, I want RK Bro to win super bad. I usually hate mashed up tag team names, like the Rated RKO and it's the worst. Like, but Matt Riddle sells it because he's such a doofus.
Mm-hmm. His character is like 20% annoying and 80% hilarious. At least in my opinion.
Randy. And like, just imagine them holding the belts and Riddle losing his mind and Orton just no selling it. Like he's jumping all over Randy and he's just standing there just like, oh my god, kill me now. It'd be so good. It'd be so good.
This is the perfect odd couple. I just love it. It's great.
And I love Randy Orton. I think he is super good.
Mm-hmm.
He is an a-hole and he doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
And I love him for it. Like, he plays his character so well.
And the crazy thing is like, he plays the character that doesn't, like, there's been interviews with him about, not like real interviews, but, WWE in character interviews about the new guys, the indies, you know, and he's like, oh, it's stupid, you know, these guys are dumb, you know, and you know, whatever. And he's got that, but then you get Riddle, and he like takes interest in Riddle. You know, he like kind of acquiesces to Riddle's like craziness, and the whole like zip the mouth and throw away the key thing was hilarious. Yeah. You know, and you know, it's funny because he could have just like kicked the crap out of Riddle and walked away, but there's something going on with Randy that he likes this kid and has respect for him.
I don't know if you remember a while back, Randy had a match or two with Mustafa Ali that were incredible. Like Mustafa came up with the most ingenious escape for the RKO I've ever seen. He went down for the RKO and he wound up in a handstand to get out of it. And then at the end of the match, Randy wins, and you see him whisper something to Mustafa, and he slaps him on the leg a couple times. Like, good match, buddy. Like, well done. And I was like, oh my God, he just got approval from Randy Orton in ring on television. Yeah. You know, I was like, he just made this kid's career. And then he had retribution. I was like, oh my God. But yeah, Randy, he is a very intriguing character, because like you get those bits of like, oh, he is a human. He's not totally a sociopath. But then when he wants to be, you know, but yeah, he has those like little moments of like, oh, there's a teddy bear hiding in there somewhere.
Well, it's like it's those times when you see them break kayfabe a little, and I really believed for a long time that Randy was just a jerk, like always a jerk.
Well, I think he was
personal life and everything, but you see so much of him, like, you know, being that teacher, that guy that's bringing these new guys up, and you know, he's really taken on that role now, and I think he's embraced that role, where I think that's changed him a lot personally.
Yeah, and you're like, all of the stories about him when he was younger are that he was a train wreck.
Yeah.
You know, destroyed his first marriage, alcohol problems, just running his life off the rails. But now remarried, new family, you know, older, seemingly well put together, you know. So yeah, it's really cool to see.
All right, the Usos and Ray and Dominic. I'm going Usos. I think this ends
I think this is where the Mysterios start the feud that we've all been wanting. And I think it's Dominic. That
I know they just released a new shirt last night.
Yeah, they're gonna sell the crap out of it at SummerSlam, and then,
and then
maybe the initial breakup doesn't happen tonight, but the seeds, like you start to see and then over time, the next couple of weeks or whatever.
Because they're already selling the dad is trying to teach him, he's not listening. You know, he wants to jump in and do everything.
And Dominic cheated to help Ray, you know, just so like you can see, and he's really cocky, Dominic being a young guy, you know.
Yeah, they're already selling it, so it's just a matter.
So I think tonight accelerates that when the Usos win. That's my. Or how interesting would it be though if the Mysterio, if they sowed those seeds of division and they still won, so they had to fight together as champions, even though there was serious friction. I don't know. It could be interesting, but they've already had the belts. So
in our conversation, we're taking the belt off Roman, or the possibility of taking the belt off Roman. Do you take the belt off the Usos, and what does that do to that story?
Yeah, but I still think Reigns. See, this is why wrestling is good.
Yeah, I think the Usos keep the belts, and maybe it's something. You know what? I bet you it's something where Dominic gets cocky. You know, it's not a clean win for the Usos, but it's something that Dominic ends up being to blame for, and that starts to cause issues with him and Ray, and it just ends up being a mess at the end. You know, the finish is a mess.
I wonder though, if it's Ray's fault that they lose, and Dominic uses that as the I don't need you anymore. You're old. You're washed up. I can do this on my own, and like that sort of thing. Like there's again with the Reigns and Cena because of the storylines here. This could go a number of ways.
I really think it's more likely be the way they're setting this up that Ray becomes overbearing and Dominic rebels against it. But I mean, you reach the point where Dominic finally says, enough is enough. I'm not putting up with this anymore.
Yeah, I'm not a little boy anymore. Yeah. Oh man.
Great mid-card match. I'm looking forward to this match. Sheamus and Damian Priest. I'm interested to see what's going to happen here.
I think Sheamus still has the US title, right?
Yep. It's a championship match.
Well, it's a lot of meat in this match. These two are big fellas.
I think I think this could be a night where we see a lot of titles change hands.
Yeah, I think they put it on Priest. To be fair, I haven't been watching a ton of Raw, and I know that Priest has had issues with Miz and Morrison stemming from the WrestleMania thing, and Miz miraculously getting out of his wheelchair and running away.
That was pretty funny.
Also, the fact that Johnny Drip Drip is the Moist Sea superstar is just I love John Morrison so much. He is a complete buffoon, and I love everything about it.
Yeah.
The fact that he has drip spray painted on his stupid like hair. Oh, it's so good. He's amazing. He deserves a championship, but because he's in the ring, he's incredible too. Like he does stuff that nobody else does.
What do you think about the two of them feuding?
Oh, I thought that's where
Miz
I thought
Morrison.
That's where I thought that was going.
Yeah,
the whole Moist TV, and then him. Like I was like, this is a chance for him to destroy the Miz in a match.
Yeah,
so we'll see.
I think
it'd
be a good match too. It'd be
match. Yeah. Well, because Miz is a pro, right? Like, I get why people don't like him, but like, there's a reason he's still around, and it's not just because he's good on the mic. Like, he can work a good match.
Oh, Miz is great.
He's never going to be the.
He's safe.
He's never going to be himself the match of the card, the match of the year, but he delivers solidly every single time, and he makes the other person look incredible every chance he gets.
Yeah. No, he's a good worker. Edge versus Seth Rollins.
Oh, I'm so excited for this match. Yeah. I pray to God that Edge doesn't get hurt.
Yeah.
They've been
every time he fights, I'm worried about him getting hurt. But
because
I think they want
he's
you
to. Right, and he's going to go full send. Like, he doesn't care. But no, this is going to be, it better be amazing. Like, they've built this thing and built it and built it and built it. It's
Edge wins.
I hope they get like 20 or 30 minutes for this one. I doubt they will, but
Edge wins this one.
I mean, he kind of has to, right?
I just don't know how Seth Rollins wins this, and
it doesn't make Edge look terrible
unless it's something to build Seth.
Well, or if he wins dirty, right?
Yeah, that's possible too.
But it depends on what their long-term plans are for Edge, right? Like if he wins clean over Rollins, and Rollins is over here talking about how he's next in line for the Universal title, are we going to have Edge and Reigns again? Edge and Cena? Like Edge and Cena.
Edge and E.
I mean, God, that'd be such a good match too. Him Big E calling Edge Little E just to piss him off.
That'd be hilarious. I'd laugh.
Yeah, I guess Seth can certainly absorb the loss because he's a megalomaniac, so he'll just make excuses and it fits his character perfectly. But yeah, I don't know. I'll go with Edge. Why not?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. I think Edge will take it.
Man, I just hadn't considered how many all the possibilities for these matches until
Drew and Jinder.
I don't care. Drew has to win, right?
I think Drew wins.
There's what? Two options, right? Drew wins, the feud is over. Jinder's goons interfere and the feud continues. But why does it need to continue?
Yeah,
They have nothing
they
else.
take the sword. They do something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're building up this whole sword thing. I don't know.
All right, you know what? I'm taking Jinder. Why not? Let's have some fun.
Okay, I'll take Drew. You take Jinder. We got to disagree here a few times. Alexa Bliss and Eva Marie.
This is on the card. I had no idea. Oh my gosh.
First off, does Eva even wrestle? Because has she even really wrestled yet? She's been in a couple of tag matches, but she hasn't been in a singles match yet. And the poorly named Doudrop, does she?
What is that?
Throw her? I don't know. It's dumb. But did she? You know, I'm always intrigued, and I felt the same way with Bray Wyatt. You know, with the Fiend character and with Alexa's character, I think they've even played off the supernatural stuff a little bit more. But I'm always kind of curious to see if they're going to be really creative with it. I usually get let down.
Well, it was way easier to pull off when they were in the Thunderdome because they could record bits ahead of time. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Can't do that with a live crowd.
Right.
So they're limited there, but yeah, what if she like possesses Doudrop and Doudrop just destroys Eva Marie?
That would be pretty fun.
But I mean, she already wants to destroy Eva Marie, so it wouldn't take much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, that's all I've got for the card here. So we taking Alexa on that? I think I'm going to take Alexa.
I'm going to take Eva Marie by DQ.
Okay.
I think Doudrop's going to get involved on behalf of Alexa.
I'm just going to say that I have loved Alexa Bliss in just about everything she's ever done.
She's incredible.
She is so good.
Mm-hmm.
And so much fun.
Like to think that she started out as Buddy Murphy and what's his name? Leslie Blake's sidekick in their tag team.
Right.
Golly.
She is so talented.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's not like the most proficient wrestler in the world, but she sells everything.
She's pretty. I mean, I think the hardest thing for her is she's just so little.
Mm-hmm.
So like even when she's going full send, it's just like, oh, that's adorable because she's like 5'1".
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I mean,
but she's got the John Cena thing. She's got like 5-6 moves that she does and like doesn't. She's not super you know, she doesn't have a huge, you know, move set.
Mm-hmm.
But what she does is effective and she tells a great story and it's good.
Yeah.
So, and she's another one I think that'll do just about anything.
Yeah.
You know, to sell it. So
I bet she's in the Hall of Fame by the time things are all said and done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
SummerSlam. Should be fun.
All right. So what's delighting you today, Cam?
College football starts soon. So the thought of college football starting soon delights me. And then when it does start, it will delight me even more. I didn't realize that we were like, you know, this far into August.
Mm-hmm.
European soccer is back. College football is starting. Formula One's going to be back after the summer break. Like, it's just, you know, it makes me happy.
Packers played last Saturday. That was fun.
Season. Ugh.
Got some good talent.
I'm cautiously optimistic that the Lions might win like 5 games this year. That'll be.
I would say that's awfully optimistic.
But I'm debating whether or not I'm going to try and get tickets to the Michigan Ohio State game this year because I've never been to that game, and I just don't know if I want to spend that much money to watch my team get obliterated at home. But we'll see. Depends on how the year goes.
I'm super tempted, and I've been considering because my wife would be on board for this, but I'm not sure if we should just time wise next week. But 2 weeks, two weeks from today, September 4th, the Brewers are having their Star Wars night Game night. And the Star Wars package comes with Lorenzo Cain. It's one of their stars, left fielder. You know, they have a bobblehead of him dressed up like a Jedi. That's part of the package, and you know, I'm like, and it's $27 a person for the terrace seats that I found. Thought it'd be a fun night for the wife and I to go out and.
How long does it take to get to Milwaukee, though?
About 2 hours.
So it'd be late night.
Not terrible. It would be a late night, and then we'd have to get up for church the next morning. But our church service is being pushed back an hour starting that week, so that would give me.
It's almost as if God wants you to go.
I know. You might be right. Hadn't thought of that, but all right. So college football's back. Appreciate that.
Very excited.
So I have a couple of things that are delighting me right now. And there's a lot of stuff that delights me, but there's a couple of things that I wanted to share on the podcast. The first thing I showed you before we went on the air, I have wanted to learn how to do the Rubik's Cube, and you talked about your 5x5 cube and how much fun you were having with that cube. So I'm a sucker for advertising on Instagram, which if I wasn't on Instagram,
well established.
Yes, if I wasn't on Instagram, I probably would have money. But I ran across this product. It's called the Go Cube, and by the way, this thing is really nice. Like the action on it. Like my wife has
well, it's got the rounded corners too, which speeds things up.
But my wife has a regular Rubik's Cube, and it's like kind of sticky and doesn't work super. I mean, it works, but you
got to take it apart, sand down the edges, and put some petroleum jelly in there, and you're good to go.
But at any rate, this thing is amazing. And so what makes this so cool is that this isn't just a Rubik's Cube. It's actually a app connected Rubik's Cube. So you can kick up the Go Cube app on your phone and connect this to that. And it works on the iPad as well. And it shows you the device. It shows you your Rubik's Cube right on the screen. So there are several different things that you can do. And let me pull up the app so I can go through them here real quick. But you do have to calibrate it with the app because it doesn't always know exactly what direction it's facing. So you've got to hold, the white side up with the green side facing you, and then it calibrates the cube to how you're holding it. But it actually shows you the cube, and it just was flashing because it connected. And it's kind of hard to see, it's kind of blowing out, but the app has a few different settings. There's the quick timer, so you can time yourself solving the cube. There's a solver that helps you out. What I typically do is I go into what's called the Academy, and there's like a track to learn how to, like, different algorithms that you need to learn to solve the cube. And I've gone through it a few different times to learn. But the one thing that I really like about it is that there's a practice setting on here that allows you to go through and practice the different algorithms. And if you mess it up, you can tap undo, and it takes you through all the moves that you need to get it back to where you were when you started the last step.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So now you're back at the next step. So now you can try it again, and it's really cool how that works. You can battle online with people, so you can mess it all up and then race them to solve it. There's the timer modes, different things like that just make it that much more fun to do. And it comes with this cool little charging dock that's plugged in right now, so I can't really disconnect the charger, so I can show this, and it flashes. There's a light inside of it, so it flashes when it's charging. Let's see, but it comes with this little dock that it sits in. So when it's charging, it sits on the desk, and it just like pulses white light. So it's pretty cool. Like I said, I don't have it plugged in the back, but it's pretty neat. I like it. So the other thing, I started, I've been playing on Apple Arcade recently, and I rediscovered Super Stickman Golf 3. And that led me to try and find a cool golf game that I could play. Because I used to love Hot Shots Golf. You ever play that? So it's a cool little cartoony kind of golf game that you could you'd play different courses, and you could unlock new things and stuff like that. Well, I decided I was going to try something a little different. I have a Nintendo Switch, and they just recently came out with Mario Golf Super Rush.
Oh man, Mario Golf was legit back in the day.
So I've been playing this, and from the reviews that I've read, it's kind of so-so against some of the older versions of the game. But I just beat the adventure mode this morning, so I was pretty jazzed about that. But you can compete with people online. You can play through just regular stroke play, just regular golf. They also have a speed golf option in there. So what changes there is, rather than you hit your ball and then you show up at where your ball landed, and just what's typical for these games, speed golf plays a little bit different, where you hit the ball and then you've got to run to the ball, and you're racing against the other players. So now it's a more likely a timed kind of thing, or what generally you run into in the game is that each stroke that you play adds 30 seconds to your time. So not only does the time that it takes you to get through it matter, but you also add 30 seconds per stroke. So if it's a par 4 and you make par, so you had 4 strokes, that's 2 minutes that's added to your time. So, and you might play around.
But doesn't that incentivize you to take lots of shots?
I mean, no, it doesn't take the time off. It adds time to it,
So if I take 10 strokes, then I get 300.
It's a bad thing to have too much time. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to do it in the least amount of time.
Oh, I was thinking this was like a time trials. Like every stroke, it added more time that you had to play further into the course.
No. The what generally they do in the adventure mode is they give you, say, like 30 minutes to play the course. And so every stroke adds 30 seconds. So you got to keep your stroke count down, but you also got to run between each stroke to try and eliminate as much time there too. So it adds this kind of, I got to do it fast, but I got to do it accurately kind of thing too. So you do have to kind of think through how you're playing the course, but then you also have to do it quickly. So
interesting.
And there's one other mode called Battle Golf that takes place in an arena, and you have to be the first person to sink 3 holes. So there's enough holes for all 4 players, and you have to go through and you have to sink 3 holes before anyone else does. And it can get kind of fun because you can like knock people over. It's a little bit.
Can you hit them with your clubs?
I don't think you can hit them with your clubs, but there's little power-ups that you can use to like run into people and knock them off their feet and stuff like that. But it's kind of the Mario Kart of golf in a sense. So yeah, a couple of fun little things to play if you guys are into Rubik's Cubes or if you enjoy video golf games. Now, I do have to mention, I do not play golf otherwise, because I think I would be terrible at it, and I don't have the time or the money to do it. But playing golf on my Switch is fun. Cool. All right. Well, our first really heavy wrestling show. So hopefully we won't lose all our listeners. But it was good. Had fun.
SummerSlam.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
I was trying to figure out ways to do this show today, because we were recording on the day of of SummerSlam. Like we would record all our predictions, and then like the next day record all the results, and then release that as a podcast. But this podcast has gone on long enough, so.
And we didn't even talk about TakeOver tomorrow night.
No, we didn't. And be quite honest with you, like I'm not going to be watching the TakeOver event tomorrow night. I might try to watch it on Monday morning, but my wife gets one of the nights on the weekend, so I have to prioritize.
Yeah, so, smart.
Tomorrow night's date night. So if you want to check out more about us, get the back catalog, you can check out innerdialogue.show. There are links there for all of your favorite podcast players. And you can, of course, find us on Twitter. I'm at Mitch Craig.
I'm at John Cena.
That would be hilarious, but it's not true. He's at Cam Brennan.
Whatever, you can't see me.
Yep. He's at Cam Brennan everywhere, by the way.
This is true.
He's pretty boring like that. So predictable, maybe predictable. Is that a bad thing?
I'll go with consistent.
Consistent. We'll do consistent. I like that. But he's also at Cam Brennan on Instagram, and I am Radio Mitch on Instagram. So if you guys want to check that out, have a good week, man. We'll see you next time.